Hello, everybody. Welcome back again. My name is Efren Luna with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach and also with Art, Music, and Culture. Today is our second session for online art class. We are transmitting via Facebook Live. Today I'm going to do something similar to last time, but I'm going to do a few modifications. The technique that I used for drawing was called the grid technique. And I have the sample here. Can you see that right there? Yes? Okay, so I got a comment, and maybe a lot of people feel like that. For children, the image that I chose might be a little bit too complicated, but I do want to say that technique can be simplified, can be used for a simple image. Today, I'm going to start with a simple image. Then I'll resume with the one that I was doing last session. And if time allows, I'll do like a freehand type of landscape sunset, which will be really fun. But today I want to start off with something simple. Can you see that over there on the camera? Okay, so if you can see this little book right here, it has a bird, monkey, right? You grab something simple, something you can copy. And this book is really great for little children. And even for someone that's afraid that they don't know how to draw, you can follow along. This one's pretty simplified, pretty much everything, all the animals are shapes. So we'll probably draw either the monkey or the bird. And I'm gonna use the same technique. So what you're gonna need is a blank paper, your image. You can print it out or just rip it out of an old book if you like. But you're gonna need a physical image, right? Like I said before, you can use a grid on a JPEG or things like that, but you have to have your computer open. And I'm not gonna go through those steps, but I will demonstrate how you do this with the physical images, right? So this is gonna be our reference. Should I do the bird or the monkey? Any comments? No? Okay. What about you, my camera person, my daughter? This one, thumbs up for this one or this one? This one? All right, so she doesn't know. I'll do the bird. Okay, simplify it. We'll start off with the bird. So children out there, you're gonna need a blank paper. If you don't have blank paper, any paper will do, but blank is clean and it'll be easier to see the lines. You're also gonna need a pencil with an eraser. Ruler, any kind of ruler or straight edge, preferably a ruler because you're going to need to do the grid. Now I am going to simplify the grid and I'm going to make less squares. Last time I did what I did is I enlarged the grids, like the ratio was larger. This time for small children, I'm going to do 1-to-1. Which means that 1 square inch on the original image and 1 square inch over here. You can do half an inch or whatever, but what I'm trying to say is the same size square for the original image and the same size of square for the blank paper. So if we put our camera here to our work area, and as you can see, we have our image. Can we see our image here? Okay, so we're gonna work on the bird, maybe the monkey. Well, we'll see. We'll see how time allows. So we need our blank paper. We need a ruler or straight edge. I'll use this wood one. Well, actually, this is centimeters only. So I'll do this one. It has inches, right? We use the inches system here in America. If you're in another country, you can use centimeters. Can we see that over there on the camera? Okay, so this is a book. I'm gonna actually draw straight on. The pencil, you might not be able to see it. So for this particular image, for the bird, I am going to use a Sharpie, something bright so you can see it on the camera. Now this is permanent, and just know that this book is gonna be permanent. If you don't wanna write on your books, like I said, use a printed image, something you can cut out. This square, actually the measurement for this image is 7 inches on this side. Okay, And I'm gonna guess that this is 7 inches on the other end. Yep, that's it. So there's 7 inches. Can you see that? You see the markings I'm doing? Okay, great. So if you're a parent and you're, stuck, with the health situation that we are having in our nation, this is a great assignment. And if you're watching live, great. If not, you may, you visit the video, you can see the steps, right? So I'm starting from scratch. This is not, video is not edited. This is not edited in any form. It's just me right here working on the spot, showing you how to use the grid technique. And I am simplifying based on the comments. I'm not reading the comments because I'm busy drawing. And my daughter helping me with the camera. She just wants to focus on the camera job, and that's okay. So what you do is you connect the lines, right? I have 1 inch markings all across. This image is great because it's a 7 inches square on each side of the image. So I'm just gonna cut out exactly 7 inches. You can see, I don't know if can you see the lines that I'm doing? I have a red Sharpie here, which is for purposes of visual, so you can see on the video, this live stream, okay? And this, this technique is like for someone, for anybody. To be honest, like some artists, they don't like this technique. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, depending on what I'm doing. But in this case, we're actually trying to copy an image as precisely as possible, right? This is kind of like just copying. A lot of artists, they'll use this technique to copy and make the mural. I used it before for that purpose. As you can see on the background, can you focus over here? This is an example of some larger scale work that we are doing with this technique. Can you focus back on the, thank you. So, but you know what? Other artists, they just use a projector, to project the image. And basically all they're doing is tracing. And there's nothing wrong with that, I know a lot of artists who, that trace, trace the image. They don't have to tell you how they do it. But I don't care. I'm trying to teach people. This is a technique, right? Freehand is much more difficult, but like I said, this is something anybody can do. Freehand, you can do this one, is simple, but some people, they have no experience in art, so this is very simple. So I'm gonna do 7 inches. Okay, 7 inches. I'm gonna do it right in the middle. I'm gonna get this ruler's kind of messed up on the edge, so I'm gonna use a better one. So again, the technique is for everybody to use. And even if you draw freehand, like I said before, you're always measuring, right? Like you measure by looking, by using the edge of the paper. There's different techniques for measuring. So it's all good, It's all good. If the main thing is you want to accomplish your goal, right? Let's see. This is, okay, I missed by 1 inch. Okay. In fact, okay, I'll do, let's see, get right here. Okay. So, as I was saying, and I'm starting from scratch, so this video, this live stream is probably going to be lengthy. We do 2 hours here normally. When we are back in business, or, you can stop by the gallery, and it's a 2-hour class. We normally do like craft-oriented work for the children, something much more simple than this that Tony helped us out with, and sometimes I help him out. But the idea, let's see, the idea of doing this class is for the community, right? Like, a lot of people, they charge you tons of money for this, or for different things. We are proud to say that we serve our community, for free. We don't charge for people to come in. We don't charge anybody. This is for everybody, teams. seniors, anybody. And when we're back in business, you can stop by our gallery and check us out. All right. So for now, we are live on Facebook. All right. So I'm measuring, like I said, I'm starting from scratch. This is not your typical YouTube video where you you just, where I cut and edit all the good stuff, If you have a question, you want to type it on there. I actually have another phone here that I can read your comments. Is there any comments over there? Okay, so my daughter, she doesn't want to read the comments, but I can read them and that's okay. She's doing plenty of work there. All right, so while that loads up, there we go. Right, watching app. Okay, so I have the squares here, 7 inches. So it's gonna take me a little bit, and this is a math assignment. If you're homeschooling your child, this is a great math assignment. This is great for mathematics. Measuring. This is great. Future architects, drafting, measuring, right? We'll get to the freehand drawing if time permits later on. We'll do a nice sunset, if you're interested in that. But I did promise I will simplify the assignment, and I want to honor what I said. It's very important, right? Honor, come through if you say something, So how does that look over there? Good? All right. So let me see my other phone. Maybe if your comment pertains to the lesson, I can probably answer on the spot. This phone might not work. Let's see. Well, I'll get back to your comments. As you can see, I do monitor even if it's afterwards, and I can modify or answer your question later on. So this is a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, that means that the same size of squares that I have here, can you see that over there? Yeah, the same size of squares is the same size. I'm not making them smaller or larger, as I did before, which was a little bit more complicated, and I didn't necessarily realize that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you see the squares that are coming out right here? Yeah, okay, so I have 1-inch squares. So if you're doing this with your child, grab a simple image, and then you can just, do this and use this technique. And depending on the skill that you develop, you can do more complex things. Right? But we are simplifying it today for the little ones out there. So here we go. Can you see that right here? You see the bird image? You see the squares? Okay, so I put them in red so you can see them. You see the penciled squares right here? Yeah, there's a comment. Okay, let me see. Get to your comment. Let's see. I just downloaded the app on this one, so I'm gonna have to log in. And in the meantime, let's see. Yeah, okay, so multitasking, huh? Live. So we're new to this online thing, but we didn't want us to, let time pass. And we didn't want to let time pass. And, there's a lot of people at home that can find this information helpful. And that's what we're doing, right? So, okay, so we are, we have our images, and we can label them, right? Basically, this, can you see on the image? This square is this square. This square is this square, and so forth, right? You just basically you're drawing by squares, or I remember in art school, some of the more advanced artists will look down on the technique and say, oh, you're painting by squares. Again, depending on the goal, right? If the goal is to learn to observe without the squares, then you want to do it without it. But right now, that's not the goal. The goal is to teach people who are not necessarily an artist to have something like a technique for copying an image, right? That's what we're doing here. It's not this is not a fine arts, college level class, right? This is for the little ones, and the parents too. You can see this example is a little bit more complex, right? You see, there's more of a realistic image compared to this one, right? So anyway, so I did wanted to do this one for the little kids. And you know what? Let's label the numbers, okay? So I know you're probably looking at, okay, I have this backwards, so it's going to look a little bit different for me. But in any case, this is square 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You probably want to do them up here, or, however is easy for you. And this other square is square A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Can you see that on the camera over there? Okay, so if you see that on the camera, you have square A, 1A. So in essence, we're naming all the squares. And with this sample, for me, it seems kind of like I'm slowing myself, doing this, but I'm not doing this for me, right? This is for you. And the reason for it is sometimes we get into drawing a little square, and it turns out that little square, it's in the wrong shape. It's in the wrong space. So we're also going to label the same numbers right here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now what we do is we've created a table. We created a table, and this table has a name. Every square has a name. Oh, okay, I see. So I see right here. Now we're live. Great. So let's see if I can see your comments. Hi, Angie Barajas Valencia. Hi. Let me turn the volume down here. Right here. Okay, great. So Angie, tracing is cheating. I'm kidding. It's cheating if the assignment was not to trace, but if you wanted to just copy the image, that's okay, Again, this is for the little kids. I mean, you could simplify it and put the paper over, right? You could do that and just trace, right? But that's not what you want to do. For some reason, my video feed is delayed over here, but yeah, just a little bit, but it's okay. But again, this is not necessarily for by doing this technique, you're not gonna learn to see real life images. So, if you really want to become a serious artist, this is by no means gonna help you, with the fine arts and all that. This is just to copy an image straight up. And like I said, this is okay because this is what we're doing. Is the sunset later today? Yes, that's probably the second hour. Yeah, so have your paints ready if you're gonna work. If you're interested in the sunset, have your paints. Just the 3 primary colors, maybe black and white. So primary colors: blue, yellow, red. My daughter's over here helping me. I'm supposed to be the expert. Anyways, I'll try to draw this. So basically, we have you can draw the background if you like for each square. And I'm just gonna make this. I'm not gonna try to be too precise, right? So this part is that part. Can you see that over there on the camera? Okay, great. But I'm gonna focus on the actual bird itself, right? So I say, okay, I want to draw. You know what? I'm gonna draw from left to right. You can draw whatever. Usually you want to work from the top down so that you don't smudge your drawing, right? So we got square 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got square 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go 4 spaces down. That's letter D, and that's under the 1. So we have 1, 1D. That's the name of this square, 1D. So that's where I'm focusing at. And last time I basically used a paper to isolate that. I'll do that, why not? But my camera person, you're gonna need to zoom in on this little square for me, on the D1, not all the way in, but like just enough to. So what I'm doing is I'm blocking this off, right? So this technique is good, right? In this case, can you zoom in a little more? Let's see. There you go. So you can see this square. So that, let's see, so it's 1D, right? 1D right here. So now I can see exactly what's on the on that square. My phone over here looks dark. Can you see the shape there on the camera? Okay, if you see it over there, the people can see it at home. So we draw this little triangle. It's almost like a little triangle, tiny shape. Can you see it over there? Okay, good. So we draw this triangle and it goes like this. Now you can zoom over here. You can see it? Okay, that's all. That's it. We're not worrying about the background like I did here. Till you zoom out now, we can see everything. And you can use this, papers to help you cover. You can actually cut out a little window, like tape the squares like we did last time. So anyways, now I'm gonna draw the next square. If you see, the next square is 1E. So you follow the name of the square, 1E, right? So we have 1E, and actually, see, I was in the wrong square. I was about to draw on the wrong square. That's why knowing where you're at is very important. So then we continue the shape, goes like this. And I actually make it even with the top one. There's a space in between. I went down a little bit too much, so, even simple things might need erasing, so make sure you have an eraser. Okay, so this is it right here. And then, so that's it, I'm done with that. There's little marks of the erasing there, but that's okay. So I'm done with 2 squares. So I'm gonna speed it up a little bit more, just so you can see. And if you're doing this at home, if you're not doing it right now, maybe you'll do it later. You can revisit this video, it'll stay on. Feel free to share it if you want. Maybe someone else is at home copying this technique. And this is a 1-to-1. 1-to-1 meaning like the same measurement of squares on the original image and the same measurement of squares on the image I am creating. Right, and that's not what I did last time. I made it larger last time by a little bit. So that was a little more complicated. Okay, so I have 3 squares done. Let's see, so I'm gonna go with this square that has the legs, or the bird's legs, or feet, or knees, or whatever the little tiny little feet. So we copy that, and it's this is just like a nice continuous shape. Now this is already a drawing from this children's book, so it's something you can use. Let's see. All right, so you can see the square. I'll shade in or color later. And you once you color, you don't have to copy the color exactly. You probably should, since you're trying to copy the image as best you possibly can. But remember, this is your image, so you do whatever you want with it. But this is just a tool, right? A tool that you can use. All right. Likewise, we'll be back later for the sunset. All right, Veronica, we'll see you in about 5 p.m. maybe. We'll do a sunset 5 p.m. We'll do the sunset at 5 p.m. and then that'll probably take us like 30 minutes maybe. And then the last 30 minutes, I'll kind of resume on the prior assignment, which seemed a little bit advanced for some folks. But as you can see, I'm using the same technique that I did on the last drawing as right now in the children's book. Okay, and I'm gonna speed it up a little bit because this is quite it's quite simple for me, but like I said, I'm showing you an example for the children, so take advantage, children out there. Now I'm gonna skip over to the tail because this little part I'm gonna skip over to the tail. I'll come back to the body. All right, so I'll come back to the body. I'll do the tail square, which is square 7 and letter D. This is 7D, so 7D right here. Now I'm not gonna use the paper anymore, but I just wanted to show you. You can block off. The blocking off the square is good for something like this, right? This is a little bit more complex, so that would be more helpful for that, or depending on your skill level. Okay, we're at 7D right here. So 7D, the tail's kind of like a heart, right? Like a heart. It's almost like a I don't know, like an inverted 3 or M or W type of thing. And then it crosses over to the upper square, which is 7C. And you just kind of are connecting the lines. All right? You're kind of just connecting the lines. You see, it's kind of like a heart. And using those lines as reference. Even some artists, like they'll draw like 2 squares on the entire picture. And they are more skilled, so they don't need that many squares. Freehand is the most toughest thing to do. Maybe we'll get to that in later episodes. But for now, we got to build a little bit of a foundation here. The next square, let's see. There you go, and it meets. Let's see. I'm kind of jumping from square to square. Okay, and honestly, this is not necessarily recommended because then you tend to make your own judgment on things. But this is a very simple image that it's gonna be okay. But if you're doing a complex image, you don't want to be jumping from square to square that much, and you kind of will sense a feeling of how your drawing is coming out, and you may, everything is relative, right, to the particular situation. So I'm just saying what's working for me, and but you may find out that I was able to work on several squares at the same time, and I kind of do that, but I try to finish most of the square, then I'll revisit. I guess that's what I meant. Anyway, so you can see, can you focus? Well, maybe I should just get closer here. Yeah, right. Can you see both images? Yeah or no? How's that? Push it up more. There. All right. So I'm gonna continue. I'm going to continue here and just continue our bird image. And, art and music, we also teach music here. We're going to do it online tomorrow, and I'll give you more details later on. But the comment I did want to make is that, patience is going to be your friend here. Patience. If you're not patient, this may not be this may become a little harder. Just be patient and trust the process. It'll work out. If you want immediate results, that means you're going to rush really fast, and you're going to be disappointed because you're not going to get the results that you might have wanted, So take your time, take your time, and you'll be able to speed along. If you're, the more skill you get, so you might be working faster than me or slower than me, so that's okay. You can see the bird over there coming along. Yeah, okay, good. All right, so we got a good percentage completed here. I got to finish the tail. I don't know if I'll copy the background the same, but you can use the image here. You can use the image. You can use actually the squares to actually copy the lettering, right? You can actually do exactly that. You know, just copy square by square. You could do that. You have the grid there, might as well use it, you know. But I'm not going to focus too much on this. I just wanted to show you that you could do this, right? So, you know, so here's a good example. But patience is going to be the key. The red, I'm going to probably color it or shade it, you know. But you can color this, you know, this is actually a great one because you can actually color it. You can come back and it's kind of like you're making something you're going to color later on with crayons, pencils. Color pencils are probably going to be better for this because it's kind of like a smaller drawing. All right, so time to draw the wing. Trying to draw the wing. So here you go. Let's see, our wing kind of goes over 3 squares. All right, so I messed up. That's what I meant about keeping 1 square at a time. I kind of just follow this. Kind of lost my patience there, so I have to return and slow it down. But that's okay. That's why we have erasers, right? And, you know, that's one of the things that some folks, they lose their patience and they say, I cannot draw. I'm not an artist. I cannot draw for anything. I cannot draw to save my life. You know, like I said before, anyone can draw. Anyone can draw. And it's like anything. Some people develop a faster, they develop the skill faster. It's like anything, you know, and that's one of the things about people, that we have our own clock, right? Like some people, they learn things faster. Some people learn things slower, you know what? And everyone's an individual. You know, sometimes we like people to learn at a certain rate, you know, but sometimes that's not the case. Like in my case, you know, I didn't learn everything on the right timing or the, you know, the timing that was required in schooling per se, you know. I just learned as I went and kind of made my own path, especially in the art education. So you can see, can you see the image? Okay, I'm gonna hold the camera up a little bit. You can see? Yes? So, so I'm gonna show them the images. Show them next to each other. Can you see both at the same? Yeah, okay. So you can see I have the outline of the bird and you can see the technique. Okay, this is something that you can do for your children. You know, this is something that that you can do a lot of these drawings, you know, and be like, oh, you know, this is cool, you know, and you know, later on, if you're interested in learning this as a more, you know, like more into the fine arts, then you can pursue other classes. But this is great for now, you know, to kind of give you that feeling of, you know, copying something and creating, you know. So this is great for little children, maybe. But again, this is going to require that you help your child at home. If you just have your child like watch this and learn this, it's honestly it's not gonna work out because you know we need someone right next to us so they can help us, you know, and that works better, you know. Other than that, it's kind of like watching a YouTube video, but this is a live class, right? So if you're there with your child, you're learning with them and they're learning with you, and it's great, you know, a great bonding exercise. And that's what we do here at Cultural Alliance of Long Beach, our music and our music classes. We encourage parents and children to attend together. So can you zoom down here, please? Anyway, so, ¿dónde pueden agarrar clases mis niños? Aquí mismo, Angélica, saludos. Everyone, Veronica García, saludos. Angie, Veronica García, saludos. So Angie pregunta, ¿dónde pueden agarrar clases? Where can my children get classes? They can get classes right here. Pueden agarrar clases aquí en esta organización gratuitamente. Si quieren ir con alguien más y pagar, también les puedo recomendar a alguien más y pagar. Pero aquí hacemos free classes for the community. When we resume, you'll be able to come to the gallery and you work in person. Cuando regresemos, después de este problema del país, puede venir a la salón aquí con nosotros y aprender con su hijo. Pero lo que yo he mirado, muchos papás vienen y que sus hijos saben dibujar y quieren aprender más, pero ya no vuelven a venir. Pierden la paciencia, me imagino, y pues cada quien, ¿verdad? Pero si eres paciente y vienes, puedes aprender. Yo tengo una educación en fine arts. I have an arts education background, fine arts. I have a bachelor's in fine arts in drawing and painting. And I learned a lot there at Long Beach City College. I got a studio degree and I got a bachelor's of fine arts at Cal State Long Beach. Entonces aprendí mucho de mis profesores. And I'm sorry guys, I'm going Spanglish here for our audience, and but you can kind of see what I'm saying, talking about my background. But patience is the key. It's definitely the key for the arts. You know, the arts is patience, like any other profession. You know, and you know what? You can actually use the colors right now if you want. You know, and I kind of started the word bird, right? But I'm probably not gonna focus on that, right? I'm probably gonna focus on the bird itself. Actually, I have a few lines. I don't know if you guys saw that. A few lines missing. So this line right here, basically this is like the chest or the bottom, or the, the stomach of the bird kind of thing. Pero sí, Angélica, como le decía, aquí mismo puede agarrar clases de arte. One thing to remember when you come to the art classes, if they're free, take them for what they are. A lot of people want to learn at a certain speed, want to learn certain things, and they come with their perceived idea of what they want, and that's okay. But remember, we're all volunteers here, and we have our own pace. And I recommend patience. Now, if you want to pursue certain things and certain learnings, then I recommend an art teacher, and you're going to have to spend money there, because then you can tell them, I'm paying money, I want to learn this, But right here, it's like I said, it's free. And if you're patient, you will learn a lot of things. And then later on, like even in college, when I went to college, I was paying money, right? I was paying a lot of money to go to college. I was working full-time, working security at night, going to college in the day. And even then I wanted to draw my own things, but the professors, they had their own assignments. And a lot of times I would, initially when I was new, I didn't like that. I was like, oh no, I want to do my own thing. Pero everything is for a reason, right? Now I know why I needed to learn certain things. Because, that's humans, we tend to know, or, we tend, los humanos siempre pensamos que ya sabemos muchas cosas, right? Like I had a parent come here, a student dibujaba muy bonito, and ya no regresó. But they didn't, like the assignments, I told them assignments to do, and they said that she already did them. And I said, how can she already do them si nunca ha tomado art classes, right? So the thing is, like, I don't know, I don't want to disappoint you, pero, todo tiene su, ¿cómo se dice? Everything has its timing, right? I can show you images, not right now, of things that I did freehand, and believe me, it wasn't easy. And I saw a lot of my fellow students that focus on abstract art, because the realistic stuff was really hard, you know. But they also had to take the realistic assignments, because all that is part of the foundation. Anyway, so I'm kind of freehanding here a little bit of the name. It's not perfect, but I want to give you a feeling of, you use the grid as a reference. Okay. So, ahora es tiempo de colorear. Okay, so si vamos a colorear, I'll try to copy the same colors or similar. This one has kind of like orange and yellow stripes, right? I don't know if I'm gonna do that, but okay, I'll do my best. The idea is to, with the grid, is like it'll give you a tool to copy the drawing. And when you color it, you're welcome to copy it precisely or add your own. Can you see the color on the camera there? One of the things that with coloring, if you're good at coloring, you press more, you get darker and things like that. I'm gonna do a little fade effect here. Maybe darker towards the line and lighter towards the center of the belly of this little bird. Right? I'll probably change his legs to brown. I don't know why I did black or shaded in with the pencil. I like the drawing here. Thank you for the likes. It's starting to take color, right? Like you can see starting to take color, and also the beak. Now this is probably, this bird is like simplified from a children's book. It's not, this is like B for bird, M for monkey. This is one of those books, So you have someone requested something simple last time. I hope they watch it and see that this technique can be done. So this is not like, if you want to just get, this is not like here's a coloring book type of thing. You actually have to create the drawing, and you actually get a sense of, math, right? Like measuring. Esto es una lección en matemáticas también, porque estás copiando los cuadritos de 1 pulgada, 1 inch squares, a lesson in mathematics. So here are my orange parts, right? And I'm going to use black. Maybe I'll find okay, so I'll use the pencil for the eyes, but they're actually darker. And then the body is like a pink color. So I'll get a pink. I'll add darker, actually it's like a darker pink, between red and pink. I'll go red, okay? So I'm doing the best with what I have here, and so are you. You may not have the orange color, choose another color, but I do recommend go lighter. Don't choose colors that are very similar, because then it's probably going to be hard to differentiate. In art, we call that like dark and versus light. There's names and things like that. Primary colors are the red. Los colores primarios son el rojo, azul, amarillo. Primary colors red, yellow, and blue. What does that mean? That those colors can actually create other colors. Quiere decir que esos colores pueden crear otros colores. I'll demonstrate that later on at 5 p.m. with the sunset, that you can actually mix colors. So if you have those 3 colors, you can create, mostly every other color, I think technically you can make every color, right? Technically, that's the idea, right? There's other like fluorescent colors, and that's another thing, but like fundamentally we have three primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. And the yellow color, I'll put a little yellow here. And it didn't sharpen this one. Let's see. This one maybe. The yellow is nice because it glow. It kind of glows. It gives you that feeling. So thank you for sharing, artist. What is your name? My name is Efren Luna. Efren Luna. I'm an artist and volunteer here at the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. And I'll copy the patterns here. I'm here all the time with the free art and music classes. My daughter is learning music, and I'm learning music with her, and I'm actually a substitute teacher in my day job. So therefore, I'm able to learn a lot and teach as well. So I'm teaching the music class to fill in when the teacher's not here, and also the art class. Normally this class is taught by Tony Tomaselli, but today I didn't want to stop, I didn't want our programming to stop. No quise parar el programa por el problema de salud, pero I didn't want to continue have people come to the gallery because we don't want to be responsible. We want to be responsible, and so our alternative was, let's keep doing it online, That was what our alternative is, and that's what we're doing. So anyway, my name is Efren Luna here. I manage the social media for the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. So if you send us a message, you'll get a response from me on behalf of the organization. We're a nonprofit. If you wanted to donate material or funding or whatever, we can accept that when we're back in business. Right now, we're just working online. And all of our teachers are volunteers. Todos nuestros maestros son voluntarios. For the free art classes and music classes, our teachers are volunteers. When we are open, sometimes people leave a donation, but that's not required. That's if they want to. Anyway, so you can you see over there, Yare? Okay, so Go Beach, Long Beach, yep. What a wonderful gift to the public. Thank you. So this is our bird, I kind of feel like it needs more. Maybe we give it a background. I'm not too sure if I want to copy the name of the bird, right? That's for the book. I'll take it out. it's at this point you got the image, and now you can be creative. Now you can erase the lines and not le puedes agregar nubes. I'm just making, going a little bit freestyle, right? So here you go. Una nubecita. Ahí está. Right? Maybe un solecito aquí. Here's the sun. Right? And I don't know, can you see that on the camera there? So this I'm just doing freestyle just to fill in the background, Here are some clouds, maybe smaller ones, because that's how our sky is, right? So this bird is actually flying because his wings are extended. Este pájaro está volando porque sus alas están extendidas, right? So I copy kind of like the pattern that they have here in this book, right? But I'm taking a little liberty to make it my own kind of thing. The most important thing was the drawing, right? So ya copié el dibujo y ahora estoy tomando un poco de libertad para copiar, para dibujar. Can you give me the sharpeners? Ahora estoy tomando un poco de libertad y we used them yesterday. They're back here. Thank you. So estoy tomando un poco de libertad para agregarle a este dibujo. So maybe I'll go brown for the legs, They do tend, son como cafecitas las patitas. So I'll do them a little darker. All right. What else? So now I'm going to erase part of the grid, right? So so I can put in my sky or my sun. El sol va a ser amarillo. El sol va a ser amarillo. So let's see. And this I'm making up, right? Because honestly, I'm already done with the drawing, you know. So our example for the simple is pretty much done. So I just wanted to take liberty. We have a little bit of time before I start the sunset. The sunset painting. That's gonna be fun. That's all gonna be freestyle. I don't know, this is kind of more like a highlighter. Can you see that over there a little bit? So you can put orange over it to make it a little darker. Okay. There you go. All right, ahí está, un solecito. Un solecito. And you know what? Now that you can actually erase the lines and just use the whole paper and add more things, you know. You can take away the name if you wanted to, you know. But I'll leave it on because it was part of the example. So I added a few things here. El sol, the sun, actually the sky is actually like, sometimes it's blue, right? So you can actually create a sky. You can already see that that I'm adding like kind of like a sun, well, not a sunset, but like a landscape background to this bird. Because over here, if you notice, this is a children's book, so they're not focused on the background. They're actually focused on the bird. The purpose of this book is to, you know, sounding the words B for bird, bird, right, for the children. But we use the image as a reference. So then our purpose change. So I don't need to have the name bird here, which I will erase. Now I just only copy the bird. Now I'm gonna create my own design, right? And this is where the fun begins. So if you're working at home, your homework, I guess, for the children is gonna be to complete complete the entire paper, you know? And you can erase the grid. And if the grid doesn't come out completely, don't stress about it. Remember, this is, in the future, you can draw light and then erase it, you know? I didn't draw light. I needed to show it on the camera. But, you know, like I said, it's a technique, it's a tool. So here's our sky. I have blue. And I have a couple of clouds there. I'll add another cloud. Well, actually, I kind of did already here. Okay, so esta es una nube. So I'm doing the blue sky. And I'm coloring around the cloud. All right. And then you can fade like darker at the top. So I'll just try to, you know, you can actually see, wow, that looks kind of cool on the camera. Looks better. Pero, let's see. So just keep shading, you know, coloring, you know. So this is a bird in flight. Está volando y nos está saludando with the wing. Like, hey, everybody, how y'all doing? You know, this is not like the Twitter bird, right? This bird is actually like more colorful, you know. Y este bird no trae tantas noticias, right? This bird's it's a friendly one. He's just flying by, saying hi, right? So you can see, like, you can already see, here's the sunlight. You can trace with the blue around the clouds so they can kind of come out, you know, so they can kind of stand out. And then you can use a chamois to like soften. The hands, don't use your hands because they have oil and they'll mess it up. But you can use something soft, like a piece of cotton cloth or, you know, a Q-tip, and that kind of soften things out. Or just take your time with the, you know, or just leave it like that as part of the, you know, it's your choice. At this point, Everything else is your choice. We're done with the bird. And I hope I didn't forget anything about this bird. So we have the sky, the sun, right? The clouds. In fact, I have more room on my composition here, right? So then okay, what I'll do is I'll finish this cloud, right? Okay, so as you can see, I continue the drawing. I have legal paper here that I'm drawing on, so I'm gonna take advantage and just draw on the entire paper and just kind of stretch it out. And now I'm filling in the paper. Now you can draw other things here, like you can actually draw another baby bird right here, with smaller squares, but that's where creativity comes in, right? So, a lot of artists, we always have a reference, right? Like some people can draw really good from memory, but I can tell you that a lot of times they've already practiced that. They already did that drawing before, so they kind of memorize the steps. It's kind of like music, right? You memorize the song, now you can play it without looking at the music sheet, kind of like that. But it's all good, And then if you make sure you fill in colors where the background and the bird meets, you'll have the bird stand out a little better. How's that looking over there? Good. Maybe I should hold it up a little bit. And I'm just coloring and extending, and this is where your creativity comes in, right? Maybe I'll continue this sun. Okay, so now this sun's gonna be it's gonna be full, right? So now I'm adding. So I'm actually taking over the entire paper, right? So I use the grid for the bird. Everything else is going to be added on because our original image didn't have a background. And we're just doing freehand, right? There you go. So we're taking liberty at this point. We are taking liberty to draw the background. So I'm going to erase some of these letters. This is all for the purpose of, can we see over there, Gabby? Yeah. All right. So this is something you can do at home with your child, right? Here are the clouds. I mean, they're my clouds, right? You make your clouds. You want to make a big cloud, you go ahead and make a big cloud, This is the part where you express yourself, right? But be patient, It takes a little time. Now, I do got to say that making that grid, it takes a little bit of patience, but it pays off, Like you can see the bird looks pretty much the same, right? Let's just focus on the bird. Can we see that? It paid off. Look at that bird. It looks the same or pretty close to it, right? So that's what you want. You want the grid is a tool that you can use, And like I said, it'll help you do mathematics. The last lesson I did a little something that I thought was simple, but it was actually, looking back, it was the same technique, but I used a little more complex example. So I wanted to simplify. Now, when I work online, I don't know who's watching. I don't know what your skill level is. If an artist is watching, they probably are tuning out. They're like, oh, I already know how to do this, But this is for the community, for the people out there that may not necessarily be an artist so this is geared towards anybody, right? Okay, so I'll probably make this my sky up to here. So I erased where it says bird because I probably want to add something down here. I don't know yet what I'm going to add. But anyways, can you tell the difference? Now it's kind of looking interesting with like all this background coloring, right? You can see that you can use this technique to get you started and then add your own creativity, right? So let's highlight the edges of the bird. You know, you could do that. I mean, this is like an illustration type of bird. By no means this is like a real representation of a bird. This is a great example because everything is shapes. It's like almost like geometric shapes, but you know, but not, you know, like they kind of simplify. They're like almost circles. Like this is almost like a circle. This is almost like a triangle, and that's one thing that you can reference when we draw. You think, okay, this part is almost like a circle, and you can actually draw the circle and then erase what's the extra part. Anyways, I'll demonstrate in another session. I'll do something different for the more intermediate, maybe advanced folks. But for now, this is for the children, or for someone who has never actually drew and they feel like they cannot draw. This is a great way to get started. And this technique can be something complex. Right, let's show our example from last week. Can you see that? Can you see that? Our example from last week. You can see it's a portrait, so this is actually a little bit more advanced. The squares are smaller on the original image, and they are larger on our actual drawing, right? But you can actually do something like this with this technique. So this is more like maybe intermediate per se, because I did a lot of the shading. And this is something more beginning level, like something anyone can do. All right. Oh, wait, it's already 5. Yep, right, it's already 5. So we'll get to the, I got carried away with the bird. There's more to draw. I still got to finish the background, but I'll leave this as an example for next time. I'm gonna, if you are at home and you're ready to work on your sunset, landscape / sunset, bring out your canvas, your paper. We're gonna draw and then we're gonna paint it. Okay, this is all freehand. So let me clear my work area here. Okay, so I have a canvas here, blank canvas. You don't have to have a canvas. I just happen to have a canvas here, have material here. So I'm gonna work on this canvas. It is not perfect. You can see it was donated to us. It has like smudges and, you know, all kinds of things, but I'm not worried about that because all that is going to be covered, right? All that is going to be covered. So I'll give you so go ahead and get your materials out. Sunset session time, right? So can you bring me the colors, Yare? And the palette, yeah? All of those 3 colors. Yep, okay, so you're gonna need blue, red, and yellow. Now I happen to have large bottles because this is what we have at the gallery. But you may have smaller bottles and that's okay. You don't need that much color. I just wanted to show you. So this is the colors that you need. But if you don't have colors right now, don't worry, because we're gonna start with the drawings. Okay, so can you see here? Do you see like everything? No, I need to see everything. So zoom out. Okay. Is that better? Okay. Is that better? Okay. So I'm gonna draw. By the way, my daughter's doing the camera work. So shout out to her. She's helping me out. This is part of her homeschooling. This is considered like multimedia arts, you know, working the camera work and things like that. So, you know, I'm already doing the homeschooling with her. So this is a multimedia arts experience for her with the camera work. All right, so there's no excuse, right? If you want to teach your children, you can teach them in your own way, the best you can, while the teachers get their computers and internet ready. So we have a blank canvas. Now I do gotta say, this is I'm gonna draw the way my setup is. You're gonna see it backwards, but I'll turn it up and turn it so you can see here and there, but I need to see what I'm drawing, right? So follow along. If you don't have color brushes and things like that ready, you can just do the drawing part with us, okay? And again, this video is gonna remain and people can revisit it and they can actually watch this tomorrow and follow with the first or second assignment, right? Okay, so we're into the class. We're doing the thank you, Jennifer Malo. So Jennifer, Angie, Angelica, and Angie, Veronica, anyone that's, I got about 6 people watching us. So thank you guys for watching us. You guys are watching us live. More people will watch this video later. So freestyle, right? This is a sunset, right? So we're gonna do a sunset. So right in the middle, we're gonna create a line. We don't need a ruler for this, okay? We just need a pencil and a paper or a canvas. Yes, we're ready. Great. So you draw a line in the middle. Boom, right there. Not too. I'm gonna draw it darker so you can see it, but you don't have to draw it too dark. Just kind of to mark the terrain. So, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna mention some art terms and things like that. So this is a horizontal line, and in the arts we call it the horizon line. So if you later decided to study art, the horizon line, because everything kind of, like if I was to draw a road here, everything will get smaller, right? But this is going to be our horizon line, and the horizon line divides the heaven and the earth. Well, okay, so the earth and dark. Oh, darker? You need a darker? Okay. So you can't see it over there yet? A little bit? Okay, you can see it a little. I'll make it a little darker, Jennifer, so you can see it. There you go. You know, I'm using pencil because I may need to erase. So don't use Sharpie, you know, because then you're not gonna have that much freedom. Use a pencil. There you go. Here's my horizon. Now, if you're an artist and you're following along and you know what to do, great. But remember, this is geared towards the beginning people, the community that have never taken art. So here's my horizon line, right? So my sky is gonna be up here, and you know, remember, you're gonna just know that I'm gonna flip the image so you can see what I'm drawing as we progress. So I'm gonna make a sun right here, right in the middle, kind of like a half circle, right? And you can see I'm adding more lines because the first line didn't look like it didn't look like the right shape, and you're just kind of making a judgment. This type of drawings are called searching lines. This searching lines means that you draw the first line, and if it works, you leave it. If it doesn't, you draw another one, and you keep drawing. And once you find the one that works, like in my case is this one that works, then you can erase the one that didn't work. That's why, you know, that's why I love art, because you know, it forgives a lot, you know, with erasing. It's one of the few things in life that forgives a lot. Okay, so here's our sun. Can you see that over there? Okay, so I'm gonna flip it up, flip it, there you go. Yours should look like this, right? All right, so this is your sunset, right? Now, this could be land or water. And I'm gonna leave that to be your choice. Okay? You can do what I'm doing, but I'm telling you, this could be your land or your water. If you like the ocean, this could be this could be the ocean or the land. Now it's plain, right? This could be a desert. This could be a desert, right? We can add mountains, we can add anything, right? But here's our basic horizon line. And let's see. So what I'm gonna draw clouds, okay? I like clouds, because when there's clouds, that means there's moist in the air or in the atmosphere, and it gives a variation to the skies, right? If you stare at the skies, man, you find a lot of interesting shapes. So anyways, I'll do like clouds, and I'm just doing shapes like this. This is kind of like coming out of that corner. There's one cloud, okay? Now higher, in this particular example, the clouds are going to be bigger. Why are they bigger? Because they're actually closer to us. Now, if I make a cloud here, down here, can you see that over there? I'm going to make it really small. Because, and I don't know if you can see that over there on the camera, but because this is smaller, is farther away. When you go outside, whenever the time is appropriate to go outside, you look at things in the distance and they're smaller, right? If you're outside measuring the Queen Mary from like far away, it might look like as big as your hand. But that's called perspective, right? And that's kind of what we're doing here. So we have clouds. We have clouds here that are getting smaller as they get closer to the horizon line. They get smaller. Why do they get smaller? Because they are farther away. So it's like an illusion, right? It's like an illusion. I would draw a big cloud right here. Okay. Now my clouds are kind of they're kind of like stretched, elongated, kind of. But yours could be like more, make them your own. But just know that these things, we see it all. Yeah, there you go. From Montreal. Oh, okay. I guess you're watching from Montreal, right? Okay, great. So I'm just filling the sky with clouds, right? Anyways, I'm gonna get a little free. Okay, it's maybe a little bit too much clouds, but that's all right. I may erase some of them. I just wanted to demonstrate, so I'm making my sky. And maybe you can draw flying objects or animals. Like you can draw a bird that's flying, right? You can, do something like this, right? That's like just the shapes. Okay, that may seem like a bird in the, if they're following each other, here's another bird. It gets smaller, right? And here's another one, right? And they get smaller as they go into the distance. Can you see that over there on the camera? Or you can draw a flying balloon, right? You can draw maybe right here. There's a balloon, right? There's a little basket right here where people, a hot air balloon kind of thing. You can draw that. This is actually too big for this position, but that's okay. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll leave it for now. I just wanted to show you that that you can draw things in the sky, but let's simplify it a little bit. Now, if this is your ocean, you can maybe want to draw the ripples of the water. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go with the ocean. You can make this could be a desert and just add rocks and things like that, that's okay. I think I went a little bit too high with my horizon line, but you know what? It's okay. That means I have more room here to add more things. Actually, I have about even space, so I have an equal amount of time. So I'm working on the drawing right here, right? So here's my, just kind of making lines. So if this is closest to me, maybe I can make the ocean waters kind of like, you know, like wavy, right? You can see that over there? Yeah, over there? Yeah? Yes? Okay. So I'm drawing straight up on this canvas, right? And the farther away, guess what's going to happen to these ripples of water or this water currents? Guess, same thing that happened to the clouds. They're going to get smaller, right? And maybe closer to each other, you know? Let me sharpen this pencil. All right, so I'm gonna kind of just color and take liberty and just kind of make this work. So you can see, and you can add like variations, like little, you know, so here's kind of like my ocean, right? You see that? Yes? Okay, so now maybe this is interesting. This could be an ocean, or this could also be like a desert, right? And this could be sand dunes. So we you know, you can make it into either or. The poster that you saw, if you saw the new poster, it's kind of like an ocean, but then it becomes like a flat surface, icy surface with like little miniature castles, right? Maybe. Anyway, so, well, you know, let's stick to the ocean. But if you wanted to vary, I'm going to draw little boats here, right? And it's going to be the same thing. So let's start off with our first boat. Okay, so I have a hot air balloon over here. I'll fix this drawing, but I'll leave that. I kind of like that. Elizabeth González, saludos Elizabeth. We're doing an art class. Estamos haciendo la clase de arte. We are live. Okay, so we have, I'm going to draw the boat. Okay, I'm not an expert in boats. I don't have one. I've been fishing a few times. And I'll tell you a short story. My friend is a professional fisherman. Shout out to my friend from middle school, Julio Ochoa. And when we were in high school, he invited us to fish, and he provided the rods and everything. And I caught 30 fish, and they were big. They were like bigger than this canvas. And I thought that was the norm, you know. And my friend said, no, we got lucky. It's kind of, a lot of people think I made it up, but man, we came home with a bag full of fillets. I gave it to my sister back then, and we had fish for like the whole week. Anyway, shout out to my friend. Stay safe, everybody out there. You can see I'm drawing a little boat, like this little boat, you know. I don't know if I want to make a big boat or, we'll see. I'll leave that for now. I'll leave that right now. I'm just adding things, you know, kind of filling in my drawing. Okay, I'll draw something small right here because it's farther, it's closest. You see this, can you see this cloud over here, Yada? Okay, so I'm going to do the opposite on the ocean, and I'm going to draw this like little boat, right? Little boat's kind of like, there you go, kind of like a little plane. I'll put a little flag too. Right, there you go. Doesn't have to be too fancy, you know. Why small? Because it's farther away. What about this one? Okay, this one, let's make it bigger, right? Here you go. This one's a little bit bigger. Now I can erase some of these things so I can see the boat. So you see some of the images. Here's another thing that's interesting, right? The sunlight is gonna reflect. So we do this wiggly line and we just kind of bring it down. You know, this is all gonna look better. If it's not my son, you can ignore it. Okay. It's still recording? Okay, good. So I told my daughter to ignore my calls unless it's my son. If you're calling me out there, you know, I cannot answer. I'm teaching a class online. I'll get back to you. Leave your message. All right. So you can see the drawing, right? And it's gonna make sense once I start pouring in the colors. What happened? The camera stopped working? Okay, I don't know what you're saying, mija. There's comments. Oh, acercar. ¿Acercar qué? Tienes que acercar más la cámara para ver mejor, por favor. Okay, so you can zoom in a little bit onto the picture. Okay. You know, yeah, just focus on this part. You can't? Okay. It's all a learning experience, right? Just zoom out, zoom out. You can zoom out. Okay, I'm gonna go check what's happening here. So it got stuck? Okay, what you do is you, okay, there we go. Okay, no, that's okay. That's actually good. Okay, very good. Acercar. Okay, Elizabeth, I got your message. Okay, está al revés la imagen. It's backwards. In fact, because I need to see it, right? Now, I'm not a professional camera person, but we're doing our best here. How is that? You see? Ahora se ve mejor, ¿sí? So, es el horizon line, las nubes, el sol. Esta es la reflexión, the reflection of the sun. This is a boat. This is a hot air balloon. So you can see, okay? Now, actually, I'll leave this like this for now. You're gonna need I'm gonna straight up go to the colors. I'm gonna put a little bit of blue. Can you bring me the white? So I'm gonna do the blue for the sky. Maybe yellow, so it'll be a little bit purple. All right, so here's our white. There we go. And the brushes, give me all those brushes that are right there. Okay, so thank you. And the water. So as you can see, I have various sizes of brushes. Okay, so can you see? Can you zoom out so they can see the big picture? You can zoom out. Okay. Okay. That's okay, actually. This is tricking me because I'm watching on the other phone and it's not necessarily live. There's a delay feature. So then I'll just, okay. So you have, I'm going to put them on opposite ends. Here's a little bit of yellow. Okay, come on out. I just need a little bit, maybe. Okay, that's good enough. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna use the bigger brushes, maybe like a 1/2 inch, like this brush. And here's the water. All right, so I'm gonna start from the top to the bottom. Okay. I'm gonna start from top to the bottom, and I'm gonna just start working from top to bottom. Bring me that paper, the towel right there under the aprons. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So I can clean the brush. There you go. Just an old rag for for cleaning the brushes. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of white and a little bit of blue for my sky. Can you see that? Okay, so this is probably too dark for a sky. I don't want it to be this dark. So that means I'm gonna add a little white. A little more white is too dark. Oops, mistake. Okay, no worries. What I'll do is I'll save that. All right, let's see. So what I'll do is I'll just wipe this off. And this is okay because it's white. We have jars here. So we normally just use the jar itself because the projects we do are different than what I'm doing right now. But the thing is, everything has a solution, right? There you go, como nuevo. Nada pasó. Give me another palette. Give me another palette. So, great. Actually, you saw the white kind of erase. So the white can erase things, you know, right? So I should never have the palette on top of the painting, right? But can you see that over there on the camera? Yes? No, you cannot see it. Okay. Let me go fix the zooming part. Okay, so, oh, that's okay. That's okay. You don't need to zoom in anymore. That's actually perfect. I have 8 people watching us. Shout out to everyone watching us. So this is going to be our freehand landscape type of drawing. Right, so, you see here. Okay, so, and if you get paint on you, it comes off. It doesn't come off as easy from, like if you let it dry. So make sure you have old clothes, you know. You see this color right here? So this is gonna be my sky. And I'm taking liberty, right? Maybe I can water it down a little bit. You can see that right there, yeah? Okay. So, and I'm kind of working around the clouds, right? There you go. This is actually very freehand, you know. Esta técnica no es, it's not too precise. Like, I mean, you don't have to do it exactly. Like if you, remember the Bob Ross videos? He would mess up and carry on. Like, that's kind of the attitude, you know? Because that's freehand, freestyle, like, you know, nothing is defined, right? That's what we're doing here. We're starting with common, I guess with common ideas. I mean, like set ideas, or like general guidelines, right? That's what I'm trying to say. General guidelines, and we're kind of expanding from there. So I'm going to use this sky blue. I mixed it by adding a little bit of white and water. The more water you add, the thinner the paint gets, and it's easier to spread around. So you want to use a thick brush. And I'm going to paint over my birds. You know, you can still see them. You know, the clouds I'm going to kind of try to paint around them. You know. I'm going to also paint over this hot air balloon. Okay, so, and then what you want to do when you get to the sun, you want to kind of paint from the edges of the sun, like this, like kind of like away from it. And then later on you can just fill it out and, you know, do that. And don't worry if you cover the drawing. That was just like a general. The clouds you don't want to cover that much because you're going to need white. I mean, after it dries, we can just go over it, you know. But right now I want to use the white of the canvas or the paper. Now, if you're doing this on paper and your paper is not thick enough, it may crunch up or like warp, you know, because the paper is not meant for that. So just know that, and that's okay, you know. The canvas is stretched, so the wet paint won't make it stretch. Now you can see I have a sky, right? And I have background clouds, right? The higher on my canvas, the farther away it's going to be. So what I'll do is I want to go darker. Yeah, I want to go darker, but I also want to add maybe a little bit of red. If I add red, it'll become purple. Okay, let's try see how this looks. You know, just kind of doing darker. So you don't want to work with the little brush. You don't want, this brush is not appropriate for right now, thick. In fact, thicker is better for the background, right? But I have a 1/2 inch and I want to keep some of the clouds. That's just my style. You could just cover the whole thing if you want, right? But right now I want to kind of save some of those drawings. And they're not perfect either, right? But it gives me an idea, a reference. Okay, you can see there's darker, there's lighter. Now this is going to be really interesting what I'm going to do next. I'm going to add a little bit of red, just a tiny bit. The red is very strong, so if I add red too much, it'll probably take over and make it dark. So I just want to add a tiny bit. As you can see on my palette, I only added a little bit and it changed the whole thing. It gave it this like this purplish type of thing. Now I have white in here, so I'm gonna wash my brush. And I don't want the white because white makes things look pasty, makes colors look like you know, the baby blankets are all like baby blue, baby red. You know, they all have a tone of white. And they kind of look soft like that. And right now we want these colors to stand out. So we don't want that necessarily. So I'm kind of making this purple. But I want it to be more red. So I'll use... The good thing about this palettes is that you can actually experiment. Okay, so now I'm just going to do light touches. Watch what I'm going to do. Light touches. All right, light touches. You know what? I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow. Okay, that's too much. Well, let's get back to the purple. Right now, like I said, we're experimenting, so nothing is wrong. You know. Okay, I have too much paint on my brush, so I'm going to wash it with this cup of water, rinse it out, and actually I'm going to use the paint that's on the canvas and I'm going to stretch it. You can see what I mean by that. And it's easier to do right now that it's still wet. Right? There you go. And I'm going to stretch it down here a little bit. And you can already see the effect. Right? So maybe the higher it is, the darker it is. Right? Shout out to the 7 people watching us right now. Thank you for watching. Saludos los que nos están mirando. Este ejercicio es freestyle, a mano libre. So estamos inventando. We are inventing as we go. And that's okay. This exercise feels really good, you know. Anyway, so here we go. How's that looking over there? Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. I'm gonna add I'm gonna add a yellow, like straight up yellow for our cloud. I mean for our sun. And you're gonna see how it's going to cuando le ponga el amarillo al sol, vas a mirar, you're gonna see how it's gonna make everything look different. You see that it's kind of like magic, right? Like here's yellow, boom, you know, hace que todo cambie un poco, ¿verdad? And I'm just kind of, this is straight yellow from the, you know, from the paint. Ahorita le voy a poner unos toques de rojo y todo va a cambiar. Pero you can see, right? You can see it looks good. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer dice que se ve bien. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, so we're just making this up as we go. Okay. So I'm going to clean my brush or use a different brush, but I'll clean this one. Now I'm going to add a little bit of red on the outside of the sun. And you can see that it's going to change. It's going to change. It's going to change pretty good. There you go. A little bit of red. Just a little bit. I know red is really strong. That'll probably take, I'm just going to add a little. Now that's enough. Now I'm going to clean my brush and I'm going to spread that. You're welcome, Lisa, Jennifer. All right. The nice thing about these live videos on Facebook is that they stay. Now I'm doing it straight up on the event invite so that people get the notification. That's why I did it like that. You know, people that are interested in the class. Some people are not interested in the class. That's why I didn't put it on the main page. So you see how I'm stretching that red? Can you see that on the camera? Good. Good. So I'm stretching that red from, you know, the sun. Now it's like a red. You know, when the sun's setting, como que se mira rojo, it looks kind of red. Like we always say the sun is yellow. You know what? I don't think that's true. That's kind of what our mind tells us. We shouldn't be looking at the sun directly. It'll make you, it'll hurt, it'll burn your eyesight, you know. It's not healthy. But what does happen is that the mixture of warm and cool temperatures create. Okay, I think I went too much red, but goodness, did I look for the class? But goodness, did I look for the class? LOL. Oh, very good. Was it hard to find the class? Well, you know, I guess you mean like you really wanted to be in the class, or you know, so you were able to. Yada, can I get the clean water? You have to clean your water here and there if you're gonna use the same brushes. Now, do me a favor, go dispose of this and clean those brushes for me. So you have to kind of clean your brushes if you're using them. If you're using the same brushes, the reason for is they become muddy, you know. And that's another secret for painting. Clean your brushes, you know, because then everything is gonna become muddy. And unless that's the effect you want, then you can see the sun, right? Now that sun's starting to look, you know, it's starting to look interesting. What I'm gonna do is add a little bit of touches of yellow into the sky. Well, actually, what's happening is that my blue on the canvas is still wet. So by adding yellow, it's gonna become green, and I really don't want that. So I'm just gonna leave it alone for now. See, so it starts to get a little bit of green, and I really don't want that. So I'll let it dry off a little bit. But maybe I can add a little bit of hints of yellow on the other end. Over here, maybe. Okay, let's just experiment. What the heck, right? Well, not that bad. So maybe like lines in the middle of yellow. There you go. Not too bad, right? it kind of gives you that feeling that that this is emanating from the sun. So now I have this orangey instead of yellow, so that's what I'm gonna do, this orangey. So I don't like that balloon the way it is. Okay, where's my other brush? Right here. Thank you, Yada, for washing the brushes for me. I'll come back to that balloon idea. I just wanted to give you ideas of drawing, so I'll cover it for now. You saw how it got muddy here because the colors are kind of overlapping, and there's kind of like this. You see what I meant by this pasty looking thing? That's what I wanted to avoid, but I was unsuccessful there. That's okay, I just wipe it off. There you go, that's all right. What I'll do now is add blue, just make it darker, and it'll kind of make us forget about what was there, right? All right. I'm not too sure about this. It's starting to look like a rainbow kind of thing, right? But I can fix that, so not to panic. Anyway, so I'm not gonna get caught up in those details. You can see the general idea, right? The general idea here of the sunset. Let's see. So, all right. So now our water, I'm gonna make, this is gonna be like, I already have blue here, right? So maybe you know what? You see this green right here? Can you see that yet over there? I actually like that green for my water, you know, like the ocean water from the surface. It may look greenish, bluish, right? It changes color depending where you're at. So I'm gonna take advantage of that greenish, and I'm gonna create my water green, you know, with the green tone. And actually, I'm gonna use the big brush. I'm gonna use the big brush for that. So, can you give me another palette? Normally, I would just clean my palettes, but I'm gonna do that at the end of this video. Right now, I wanna, focus on the. Thank you. I'm gonna focus on the process. So I need more yellow and more blue. So I'm gonna put yellow. There we go. Yellow and a little bit of blue. Is there another blue over there? Find if there's a lighter blue. This blue is too dark. But if you find a different type of blue, bring it over. Oh, okay, perfect. Actually, this, you can see, these are different kinds of blues. This blue is a darker blue, and this is a lighter. They have name. This is a fluorescent blue. All right, just happen to have it here. So I'm gonna go with this. Hopefully it works, and it'll probably give me. Now, don't worry if you don't have that. Use the other one. I just have options here because we have material, so I'm taking advantage of that. Right? So why not? So you want to use the wet brush. Can you see how I'm mixing the colors? Yeah, okay. So you want to use the wet brush, get a little bit of the yellow and a little bit of the blue and mix it. See what happens. So you got this green. It looks too green. It looks like grass green, right? Now, if you want this to be like this green grass, just go ahead and put it over it. But I want it to be more like water, like ocean water. So maybe just throw in more blue. Yeah, this light blue, I mean this other blue, it's not giving me the effect I wanted. Let's see. But it's all right. I'll put this as a background, so I'll do this. Ooh, it's too green. Well, what do you expect, right? Blue and yellow make green. Yep, that's it. So maybe I add more blue. I'm gonna add this darker blue now and see. See if I can take away that, I take away the, now it's a little bit too dark. All right, that's all right. So what I'll do is I'll make, I'll just cover the canvas. I'll come back to the boats, right? Right now, I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna cover everything. You're probably thinking, whoa, but this is my background, right? Or foreground, I should say. All right. How's this looking? What do you think, Johnny? I'm gonna turn off my judgment sensor a little bit and just fill this out and see what happens. It probably looks too dark on the camera, huh? Yeah, okay. So what I'll do, let's see. Do a little experimentation here. Hey, you can put a color on the canvas and see what happens, right? This is where the fun begins, right? Just don't put it on the carpet or nothing like that. Let's see. Okay. So, see, I wanted to do the assignment like this because this is more fun in the sense that you're less restricted. There's more freedom. Versus the other assignment is very precise, like mathematical, like the squares drawing. Whereas this is like, look, now I'm blending in this light blue with this dark green. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Can you see it a little bit? You know what? And I'm going to add a little bit of white. Where's that palette? Oh, here you go. Remember that palette that I spilled all that white? I'm going to take a chunk of that and just put it on here and just kind of make that part of my part of my design, right? Or my, you see, now this it's kind of like everything's blending on the spot. Like, I didn't plan this, it just looks cool, I mean, I started with basic ideas and it's kind of like forming its own it's kind of like forming its own. It looks like ocean water. It's kind of like a little bit too dark, but you know what? Like I said, we're not done. We can always change things, Notice how when I added that white, it gave it this pasty look, but maybe that's how the ocean water is. I mean, the ocean water could look any color, depending on the situation. Mostly blue, green, things like that, but how's that looking over there? Okay. I'm going to add more white just because, a lot of the times the white is, when you see the water, like specks of white over the ocean water, what do you think that is? It's reflections of the sun, right? Reflections of the sunlight. Beautiful, dice Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. This assignment here is like very liberating, very free. You can add whatever you want, And, you do this assignment often. And, next thing you know, you're becoming good at it, like in the sense that you can add more things and, because our brain blocks us. Like, remember that little voice in our head? It's like telling us, this doesn't look good. This, So, if we learn to silence that guy, sometimes I feel like there's a little person inside of us, like running the show. And sometimes that guy needs a timeout, right? You know what I'm saying? So that guy, you need to tell him to chill and let you be free for a little bit. How's that looking? I got to see on the camera. So let me go around and look. Not bad. I'm going to fix the angle here. Let's see. Okay. That's better. So you can see. It looks weird but I need to look at it, right? But I'm gonna switch up the the canvas. Let me just mark the corners on this table so I can see, so I can put it back. Okay. So watch this. You're gonna be like, oh, I see it now. Okay, how does that look, Gary? Looks good? So you can see there's our ocean, right? Here's our sky. Now, right here, we probably need to let this dry a little bit, but I don't think we have time. It's almost gonna be 6. You know what? I'm gonna paint over it and see what happens. And I'm gonna paint backwards. This is gonna be different for me, but what I'm gonna do is use a big brush. And this sunlight has a reflection, right? So I'm gonna clean up a little bit of this. I'm gonna pick up some of the paint here because I'm gonna add the sun's reflection. So I'm using a brush and scooping up the paint here, just a little bit, so that you can see. Yada, can you see from here to here? Yes or no? This part? Okay, good. So this part, watch what I'm gonna do. Careful. Camera person, you need to focus over there, okay? All right, we're almost done, Mija. Okay, she's tired because this is our second assignment today. Okay, so here we go. So watch what's gonna happen. I wish it was dried a little more, but you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna cancel my little judging voice and see what happens. So I'm working backwards, right? So here is my sun that's reflecting on the water, right? Here is reflecting. Does it look like a reflection from over there? Right? So you can see. Kind of going a little bit too thick with the brush, but I have to because it's not dried. So right now I'm just gonna use this other technique. And the reflection is not perfect, so it's like wobbly. Kind of like this. How's that looking over there? You see it? Oh yeah, looking pretty good, huh? Not too bad. Not too bad. So anyways, this is our assignment. Let's see. Maybe I'll reinforce I'm gonna reinforce the orange sky, and then we'll take a break. You can keep on working on this from home. I'm just going to touch up the sky a little bit. We'll add details next time. You know, you know how I was doing the boats and all that. Probably not gonna get to that part, but I did wanted to, mention that. So let's see. Here's the sky now. Now I can see the little bit of orange in the sky. And this brush is probably gonna, I don't want to mess it up too much. But you know what, okay, let's see. I'm gonna cover this cloud. I can come back to it. I don't need that many clouds. Okay, so what I need to do is blend. Oh, so nice, Jennifer says. Thank you, Jennifer. We're experimenting, so this is not, not perfect, but it's good, right? We'll make it better. Basically it's a work in progress. This is the first session, right? I'm gonna make the top darker. So where's my blue, right? Well, that's actually green. I'm gonna add blue, you know what? I'll add blue. Yeah, dark blue right on the canvas. Right? There you go. That'll blend really nice. You know, it'll blend in with the colors on the brush. Ooh, that's too dark. But I think it's gonna be okay. What do you think, Yada? Looking good? My daughter's tired, so she's helping me with the camera work. Part of multimedia, right? Look at that. And now we can just make it kind of got a little bit too dark, but that's all right. And then we can just blend it in with the other colors. Maybe a little more yellow. It becomes green. That's when you work on a wet painting, it's the colors are gonna mix pretty good, and that could be a good or a bad thing. And right now it's giving me a little trouble. And quite honestly, I'm a little bit nervous because I haven't done this in a little while. But, oh, okay, that's a little bit too much paint. There you go. You see now that changed the whole game. The whole game changed. It kind of looked good watching it transform, you know? So now I'm gonna pick up all that red. Now I have a feeling that I can work on this painting all night and make a change. But we're gonna take a break in a little bit. Okay, what I'll do, this is getting out of hand. So I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. There you go. Now you got a little bit of a color that I wanted to. And let's see. I don't want it to get too muddy. So can you see that? I got it on my shirt. It's all right. Mostly all my clothes is painted on. And if it's not, it's part of being an artist, right? So, okay, so I think just add a few highlights of the sky. Okay, I'm gonna reinforce the clouds with white straight from the paint. Can you give me another brush that's 1/2 inch? Kind of like this size. Okay, so watch what I'm gonna do and we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna reinforce the whites, okay? And then we'll leave it at that. This is what we have, you know. So I hope you guys are enjoying this painting process. And there's more to do. This is not over by any means, right? This is just like the beginning. It's all freestyle. It's all freestyle. Any brush is good, Mija. Thank you, that'll work. So what I'll do is I'll just dip into the white color straight up. And I want to reinforce the clouds. Before I leave this painting alone, I want to reinforce the clouds. You know, and quite honestly, those clouds are gonna blend in with the color that I have. So you can see. You can see I lost my original drawing, but that's all right because it was only like an idea to get started. There you go. I lost the birds too, but there's, you know, I can still bring them out next time. All right, what do you guys think about this so far, huh? Not too bad, huh? Thank you, Jennifer. It says beautiful, nice. Have about 5 people watching us. You can revisit this video. I started with drawing the, let me see, doing the bird drawing, right, for the children. So if you tune in earlier, can you see that on the camera there yet? So this was our assignment for the little ones, something simple so you can draw, right? This is what we did today. This one says looks good, Veronica, gracias. Jennifer, everyone that's watching us, shout out to everybody. This is for the children. I hope you can use this technique and keep drawing. And this was can you look back at the landscape? This landscape was a freestyle, right? And there's more to add. Once it dries up next week, we'll add more things. We went a little bit over time. We usually me está quedando igual. Gracias, Elizabeth. Gracias, Elizabeth. Thank you for watching. This is something you can do and teach the children. You know, you see the glare right there with it looks really nice with the reflection I have here. But I'll add more. I'll let you guys have a good night right now. Thank you guys for watching. Can you zoom to me now so I can say bye to the people? So you can see artists, you're gonna get paint on your hands. All right, so now I gotta clean up all these brushes, the palettes. Actually, I might work a little bit on my own here, maybe, I don't know, but you guys keep working at home. Okay, the class, you're at home. You can work all night if you want. This is gonna be your homework. Finish as much as you can. Thank you, dice Veronica. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Veronica, Elizabeth, Jennifer, and everyone that tuned in, you know, todos los que nos miraron. Thank you guys, Angie, Angelica, and Veronica, and everyone else that's, you know. So I hope you guys enjoy this. So as of now, I'm gonna take a break from this. So keep working. If you started so I'll leave you guys some homework. Okay, finish your assignment with your children, this one, and maybe do a few more, you know, like do one every other day or one a day, you know, keep them busy for an hour or two with this, and then find time for you or your, you know, older children and work on this one, right? You know, continue working on this one, you know, and I'll show you how to add the details next time. We'll add like little boats or little castles, little floating things, you know, like a fantasy type of thing, you know. All right, so with that being said, I'm gonna thank you once again. My name is Efren Luna with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. Soy Efren Luna con la Alianza Cultural de Long Beach, and also with Art, Music, and Culture, con Arte, Música y Cultura. We offer free classes to the community. When we open the gallery again, you can come back here. Right now, we're doing online. One more thing, Saturdays is the music class. You see the guitar over there? We have music class. Rick Bemis is our professor. So go to the link for the event and he'll show you a Google video conference, and that's how he's gonna do the class. I'll try to give you a heads up tomorrow morning for that. For now, that's it. Stay safe, take care of yourself, take care of your kids. Thank you for watching. Hasta luego. Yeah, press stop.